Hello and welcome back, Squirrel Nation. I hope you all are having an amazing day. Today I'm putting out my first auto chest video. I haven't been putting out videos for this game because I wanted to have time to play the game, to get better at the game, and I wanted to get to a level where I feel comfortable sharing my knowledge with you. So anyways, on that note, on the North American server, I have climbed into the top 300. It's about around 250 right now. I'm pretty confident I can push into the top 100 because I still have a 77% chance of getting in top 3 currently, and on Asia I've climbed into about the top 800. So on two different servers I have climbed into the top echelon of players, so I feel comfortable sharing what I've learned with all of you. So anyways, I know that a lot of people in the auto chess community who are starting to put out content, they're showing their gameplay, they're just going through individual games and talking about the comp that they went. I like to have a different style to my content. I don't like to do content the same as everybody else. So for mine, it's going to be more analytical. I'm going to more break down the nuances of the build, and then at the end of the video I am going to include some gameplay. There's not going to be commentary this time, but in the future let me know what all of you like. Do you like my style of the content? Do you like the fact that I'm going to break everything down, or do you just like watching gameplay with thought process? So anyways, down in the comments let me know your feedback, and with that said, let's dive into the breakdown. Okay, diving into the breakdown, let's start off with the 8-man team comp if you are trying to run Feather Assassins. So we go Taboo Witcher, Queen of Pain, Wisp Seer, Wind Ranger, Trent Protector, Shadow Crawler, Razor Claw, and Shining Assassin. If you notice, they have a color border around them that represents how much the unit costs. So for instance, Taboo Witcher is a 1 cost, whereas Queen of Pain and Wisp Seer are a 2 cost unit, and you will notice their borders correspond that way. So one thing I like about Feather Assassins is that they have a very linear progression in the cost. There is a 1 cost unit, there's 2 cost units, there's 3 cost units, and 2 epics. So I really like that because it means that you can really build up the team at different levels. So if you're behind, for instance, then what I want to do when I'm behind is I want to get 2 stars of my comp, and I want to get the keys to my comp. So for instance, at level 6, I could get 6 feather units in, and I can try to get them to 2-star. And it's realistic at level 6. So sometimes you can have a problem getting Shiny Assassin. What I do is I will switch in Lightblade Knight, and then I will use Lightblade Knight as a placeholder until I get Shining Assassin. And in that case, you can have 6 feather, and none of them are more than 3 cost. The other thing you can do is say you're front running and you're way ahead and you can econ up and you can get to level 8 quickly. Well, once you get to level 8, you can just start re-rolling and you can really mix and match with this comp. That's what I love about it. You don't even need to get the Razor Claw. He's nice to have the Druid 4-stack buff so that you can get your Druids to 3 stars. But you can even use Unicorn as a placeholder, and frequently what I do is actually I'll even go up to 9 because I generally have a 3-star Unicorn that I can just put in at level 9, and then between the Unicorn and the Razor Claw I will also get the 2 Beast bonus. So anyways, I think that's enough of that part. So overall, I think Feather Assassins is a great build because it does very well if you're front running. So if you're in the lead in the game, it's very good. If you are in the middle of the pack, it's very good. And if you're behind, if you are on a losing streak, it's also a good build. The reasons for that are it's not highly contested, okay? And even if it is contested, the Druids, for instance, get contested, but Druids, it's okay if they're contested. And what I mean by contested is, let's say one other person or 2 other people in the game are running Druids. It's not a big deal to me because for Druids, for you to get a 3-star, let's say Razor Claw, I only need to get 4 Razor Claws using the Druid synergy to get a 3-star Razor Claw. Whereas if I wanted to get a 3-star Shining Assassin, I would need to get 9 of them. Okay, so in general for most builds, if there's 1 other person running your comp, it's okay. If there's 2, it's really bad for you because it's going to be very hard for you to get stars on your key units. But the Feather Assassins here, the Druids don't have that issue. So that's one thing I really like. Another thing I really like is a lot of the units that are used in Feather Assassin are not highly contested, okay? So Taboo Witcher, nobody really cares about him. None of the meta builds use him. Same thing with Queen of Pain. Same thing with Wisp Seer. The only units that are really contested are Wind Ranger and Shining Assassin. So even Shadow Crawler, the only other comp she really fits in that people will use her is Assassins. So that's what I mean by very low contested. And that's what makes it easy when you're behind, because if you're behind, your economy is not good. You can't afford to get into rolling battles. So you can't afford to fight for units with other people who have more gold and more of an economy than you. So anyways, that's that. So damage carries, Queen of Pain almost always tops my chart. And I'm assuming they're all at equal star levels. So let's say they're all 2-star, they're all 3-star. Queen of Pain almost always leads. And then the next 3, it depends what I'm fighting. Okay, so Assassins are very important if the enemy has a strong backline, like Hunters or Mages, or Glacier Knights, which is a common one. And Feather Assassin is really good against teams that bunch up, which also can tend to be Mages or Hunters, but not so much the Glacier Knights. So anyways, if you are trying to get things to 3-star, I always try to get my Queen of Pain to 3-star, and then generally I choose either Wind Ranger or my Shadow Crawler to be the other unit that I get to 3-star. Very, very few games end after you would get 3 to 3-star. So for instance, all my games almost always end by the time I get Queen of Pain and Shadow Crawler to 3-star. I almost never have the time to get a third damage carry to 3 stars. So my strategy is very simple. Get all my, so I try to get my 8-person unit together, then I try to get everything to 2-star, then I try to get my druids to 3-star, and then I try to get my carries, 2 out of my 4 carries to 3-star, and after that, you basically dominate every single comp. Like, I genuinely have no issue with any comp except 6 Hunter, and yeah, I mean, that's why I love it. So anyways, matchups. Wins. You dominate Warriors, because Warriors just can't hit you and they have slow attack speed. Knights, basically the same thing. They can't really hit you and their attack speed's not amazing. Assassins, same thing. Dragons, you can just burst down because dragons, they rely on their backline. So they have damage carries, which are like Baby Dragon and the Dragon Knight. And your Assassins can just get back there and destroy them. And then at that point, there's not much the Dragon player can do. Glacier, same thing, they have the very high attack speed, but at the same time, you're still dodging about 45% of everything that they're throwing out, so you end up killing them before they can really kill you. 50-50 matchups are Mages. Mages kind of depend on who's ahead in level. So for instance, if I don't have 2 stars and they do have 2 stars, or I don't have 3 stars and they have 3 stars, the Mage is probably going to win. But vice versa, then the Feather is going to win. So then it comes more to an economy game. Loss, 6 Hunters. So 3 Hunters, Feather actually beats. Feather Assassin beats 3 Hunters because of the Assassins. So the Assassins will jump onto the back 3 Hunters, which are normally probably Wind Ranger, Medusa, right, E-Ranger, something like that, and they will just absolutely crush them. And so 3 Hunters is not a big deal, but 6 Hunters is a big deal. The reason for that is Hunters negate your evasion on your feathered units, so basically you're losing all your 6 feather bonus when you are fighting 6 Hunters. The formation that I use is right here. This is by far the most successful unit and it's the most universal. I think you are almost always safe to put your units in this position, and what I want is the enemy to be in the top left corner. Okay, so if I'm fighting Mages or Hunters, ideally they're in this top left corner. Hunters actually either corner. Mages, it's nice to be across from them because they're going to be running Thunder Spirit, and if you use this positioning, the Thunder Spirit will not hit all your backline, which is great for you. When I go to 9, what I generally do, like I said, I switch in a Unicorn, and what I do is I shift my Razor Claw and my Trem Protector right here, 1 space to the left, and I put my Unicorn where the Razor Claw currently is. So anyways, that is the formation. Items, okay, debuffs. So most of you know that a hero can only have 1 debuff item. A debuff item is either strips the enemy of their armor or strips the enemy of their magic resistance. You can't put both. If you put 2 debuff items on a hero, only one of them will work. So anyways, for debuff items, Queen of Pain, I want to put my magic resist or my magic debuff item. The reason for that is the main source of her damage, and like we said, she's generally my damage carry, is her ultimate. So I want her to, whatever hero she's focusing and is going to get hit by her ultimate, I want them to strip their magic resistance. Same thing goes for the Shining Assassin. Shining Assassin is generally who's jumping into the enemy backline, and with the Shadow Crawler, and they are getting kills on the squishy backline, so I want her to be able to hit those backliners and strip their armor. So armor debuff onto the Shining Assassin, magic debuff onto the Queen of Pain. And if you get super lucky and you just have tons of debuff items, the other heroes that I would add debuff items onto are Wind Ranger and Shadow Crawler for armor. Anyways, defensive items, the priority is Razor Claw first, then Trent Protector. The reason for that is Lone Druid has the most health. So if you add armor, the way that armor works is it essentially reduces the percent damage you take, but another, and I think it's a better way to think about it, is it effectively gives you more health, okay? So you want to put armor onto the unit with the highest health pool, and that is Lone Druid, assuming they're equal in stars. So sometimes you'll see me put it on my Trent Protector because my Trent Protector is already 3 stars, and my Lone Druid is only 2 stars, so I put armor onto Trent Protector. But assuming they're at the same star level, the Lone Druid will have more health, and you want to put the armor onto the highest health unit. Okay, so mana regeneration. In this composition, there are 2 primary ultimates you're looking for, and that is Queen of Pains and your Wind Ranger. They do insane AoE damage. You want them to get their ults off quickly and consistently. So if you get mana items, you put them on these 2 units. I prioritize Queen of Pain first and then Wind Ranger. Once again, if you're super lucky, you get a third, I would put it on Shining Assassin. The reason for that is her ultimate has a very short cooldown, it's very impactful, and it lets her tank. And if you're super, super lucky and you get a 4th one, I actually put it on Trent Protector. Trent Protector's ultimate, do not underestimate Trent Protector's ultimate. It has a very low cooldown, it does a lot of AoE damage, and it heals your team in an AoE. So Trent Protector would be my 3rd mana regen item. Attack. Okay, the final category, attack onto Shining Assassin and Shadow Crawler. This will change if my Shadow Crawler is higher stars. So if my Shadow Crawler is 3 stars and my Shining Assassin is only 2 stars, I will funnel my attack items onto my Shadow Crawler. Ideally, you want the items on your Shadow Crawler because of her passive and the fact that having attack items on her makes her crits even bigger. The problem is Shadow Crawler is generally the first unit to die if she is not 3 stars. So a 3-star Shadow Crawler, put those attack items on her like crazy and just watch the enemy backline melt. And if your Shining Assassin and your Shadow Crawler are both 2 stars, then generally I put the item onto Shadow Assassin, or Shining Assassin, because she has more survivability, which means she's going to have more DPS, or she's going to have more damage at the end of the fight because she just stays alive a lot longer, sorry. Okay, last category is combos. So this, I just mean hero and item combos. So Shadow Crawler, she is the only person you would put Mask of Madness on because it silences the hero that you put it on. Well, you could put it on Taboo Witcher, but Taboo Witcher is there as a utility to make sure people don't get off their ultimates, whereas Shadow Crawler is there to kill their backline. Killing their backline is extremely important late in the game, so that's generally why I would put Mask of Madness onto Shadow Crawler, because she has a passive. The faster she attacks, the more likely she is to get those huge crits, and the lifesteal helps her stay alive, and that is her big problem, is staying alive. If I get any of the attack items, so it's not just, and I can't think of the name of this item right now, but it's not just this one, but any item that triggers on attack, I always put it on Wind Ranger. The reason for that is Wind Ranger has the fastest attack speed. So like, for instance, the Assassins are 1.2 seconds, whereas Wind Ranger is only 0.9 seconds. That's a 25% difference in their attack speed. So your chance of procting on hit items is much, much higher with Wind Ranger, so throw that on him. And we already discussed it, but mana regen, the refresher, orb of refreshing, or refresher orb, whatever you want to call it, Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain all the way. Her ult is the most impactful on this team, and it will help you crush through. Okay, so that is basically my overview of the different nuances that I think come up when you are running a Feather Assassin comp. Once again, I'm always looking for feedback. This is my dipping my toe into the auto chess genre for content creation, so please let me know any of your feedback down in the comments below. I will also link to this infographic in the comments below, so look for that if you are interested in just kind of downloading this, or if you just want to save this somewhere, then I will also leave a link to that. And then finally, I am going to finish the end of the video with just some of my gameplay, me playing Feather Assassin. It's a great game for you to see how I approach it, and a lot of the topics that I brought up you will see covered in the gameplay. This time there's no commentary, but in the future, if you do enjoy commentary with the gameplay, please let me know and I can actually add that in the future. And finally, the last option is I do stream on Twitch, so if you want to come by, I pride myself on being an educational streamer, so if you have any questions, if you have anything you just want to know or something that came up in the videos, then please hop by or drop by my stream and just interact with me, ask me whatever you want to see. But anyways, as always, take care and I will see you next time.